Good morning and welcome to Friday with the Rev. I'm Greg Johnson. I'm the president and CEO of GJP International, Greg Johnson Partnerships. I'm also the senior advisor to the CEO of Emblem Health here in New York for the world of family caregiving. These broadcasts are brought to us and shared with the intent of looking and focusing on family caregiving, faith, and spirituality. Today is a special broadcast. I trust that you've had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, an incarnation worldview. We're going to talk about that in a minute. An incarnation worldview. I hope you're having a wonderful Hanukkah and a wonderful Kwanza. Times of light, of joy, and expanded understanding. My favorite passage at this time of the year is God is love, and they that dwell in love dwell in God, and God in them. That is so important as we're dealing with the topic of family caregiving and the lives of people doing family caregiving. As the Reverend Jackie Lewis, Dr. Jackie Lewis over at Middle Collegiate Church has recently said in an interview, I'm not really interested in your specific theology, your specific understanding of the word God, the divine, the higher power, whatever word is working for you presently in your spiritual journey. What I'm interested in is love, your understanding of love, the love within you, and the love that you're sharing as a family caregiver. That piece I add. Because it is a journey in love, a journey in golden rule living. Georgette Bennett, Dr. Georgette Bennett, a very, very special friend and a brilliant and generous woman, founded the Tannenbaum Center here in New York, the Tannenbaum Interreligious Center. And Dr. Bennett often says, and I'm always loving this statement, we're all children of God. And that we need to celebrate and that we need to honor. Where do we get in trouble? It's when we start with the dogma and we begin flinging that at one another. Well, in family caregiving, I want to just stay with the child of God for each and every one of us. Now, as Rabbi Sobel, again, a very wonderful man here in New York, he's the Rabbi Emeritus from Temple Emmanuel, and I had the privilege of singing there for many of the Jewish high holidays long, long ago. But in so doing, I had the great joy of hearing Dr. Sobel again and again. That's one of the gifts of living in New York. So many wonderful people of many, many different faiths. And Dr. Sobel used to say, and I love it, we all have a truth that is so important to us that we would literally die for it. The difficulty is that when my truth becomes the truth, we're all in trouble. Each of us has a piece of the divine within us. And where does that take us? That takes us to what Father Richard Rohr has been talking about, and I refer to him very frequently, of the incarnational worldview. That's the profound statement of the divine being present in everyone and everything. That is love in us and in each and everything that we experience. Every person, place, and thing being surrounded by the presence of the divine. And that becomes of great help to us. And I particularly want to talk about that because next week we'll be celebrating not only a new year, but a new decade. And that's profound. That's also a time to stop. Now, we can stop at any point and start over, reassess, reconsider, but particularly at times when vast numbers of people are doing this. There's a lot of spiritual energy. And so I've got some suggestions that I want to share with you as we approach the new year and the new decade. That's exciting. Now, one little thought, and I want to share this with you, on the incarnational worldview, and that is the profound realization of the divine within every person and everything. Think of it this way. This is not big, fancy theology. But each of us, every moment of our lives, recreates and has the opportunity to recreate that incarnational, that birth, that renewing. And how? By breath. Isn't it interesting that all forms of meditation begin with breath? What is it? We inhale the divine, just as we did at our birth, as Jesus did at his birth, and as creation did in the Genesis story of the first incarnation, the incarnation of this entire world. So think of it as we inhale the divine, and as we exhale, we send spirit, we send the divine out into the world. Each of us, as Bishop Tutu often talks about, a God carrier. And we have a lifetime, and beyond, I believe, to be working on that full meaning. Now, prayer, meditation, times of reflection, all of those are important. Times of study, times of questioning, working with the spiritual advisor, all of these very much help us. And for family caregivers, affirmations are extremely, extremely important. Reverend Marian Gambardella does something with our Emblem Health program on family caregiving. We call it spiritual conditioning. And she's got a wonderful card. You can find it on the website. Spiritual conditioning, we call it. And there is here, I'm going to read just briefly what Marian has said about affirmations. And yes, I'm using this glass. An affirmation is a positive statement of faith and truth, the yes action of the mind. Stating affirmations helps you to take charge of your life and shift from a negative state of mind to a positive and creative one. It is the power of word that strengthens us. Using affirmations such as these can help family caregivers move through the challenges of family caregiving with hope, strength, and courage. And I might add, not just family caregivers. And for this morning, here is the affirmation I want to share, for it very, very much parallels Incarnation worldview. I now surrender my little human self and become one with my higher spiritual self, and I am at peace. And I am at peace. Take that with you this week. Consider phrases that you hear and use them as you go forward into the new year. And the new year is also a very important time for us to just take a moment to reflect, to look back, but not get stuck there. This week, I particularly saw, it's very cold here in New York, and I saw a number of people. I've been very conscious of the homeless situation. As you know, I'm going to be doing participating in an event at the UN on it, and so I've been really paying attention. And one of the things I have noticed again and again, and I thought, how like the rest of us, so many of the homeless, with piles and piles of bags and other items into which they can put things. And it's filled with newspapers. It's filled with things that really are not going to be beneficial. And yet they're carrying them from place to place to place. What sorts of things are you carrying that are really not doing you any good? I'm asking myself that question. Because in this decade, I'd like to leave a lot of baggage behind. I've learned the lesson. I'm grateful for the lesson. But I don't need to keep carrying it with me. I don't need to keep digesting it. For there's a new lesson to learn. But I can't learn the new one until I let go of the past. And so I urge you to spend a bit of time considering what you are going to let go. And when you're ready, tune back into the broadcast. I found this on Facebook, so I don't know who the author was. But it's a statement to the universe. It's a statement to self. And it's a statement to everyone that this author has made. And I truly join him or her in this pledge to walk into the new year. So please join me as I read this. I'm walking into 2020 with a clear heart and mind. If you owe me, don't worry about it. If you wronged me, it's all good. Lesson learned. If you're angry with me, you won. I've let it go. I truly wish you well. If you feel I've wronged you, I apologize. It wasn't intentional. I'm grateful for every experience that I received. Life is too short for pent-up anger, holding of grudges, and extra stress or pain. Here's to 2020. Remember, forgiving someone is for you, so don't block your blessing. Make 2020 a year of positivity and a season of forgiveness and love. And may that be true for the entire 2020 and the decade of the 20s. Now, before I close our broadcast, I want to remind you that you can be in touch with me at any time via, and the easiest email to state verbally, is my email contact at Emblem Health. And it's simply gjohnson@emblemhealth.com. And with that statement, I remind you that there are lots and lots of wonderful resources and more coming in 2020. So if you're looking for information on family caregiving, I urge you to take advantage of our resources at www.emblemhealth.com/care for the family caregiver. There are lots of things there that can help you and can help you in dealing with your caregiver or with people whom you might be dealing with. So I urge you to do that. Also, these broadcasts, Friday with the Rev, are archived on the YouTube channel, Family Caregiving with the Rev. And in addition to these broadcasts, there are other lectures that I have done and talks and interviews that I feel might be helpful to you. They also might help trigger in your mind words to use to Google to find resources within your specific area, within your country, within your nation, within your village. Use these and share them. They're meant to be shared. They're for you. We're united in love and caring. So please take a look at all of those items. Starting next Friday, we're going to begin a journey through the book, Peace Be Still, Prayers and Affirmations for Family Caregivers. So I urge you and invite you to continue with us on Friday morning with the Rev. as we continue worldwide, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm going to be seeing some of you shortly while I make a very quick trip to Singapore and to Indonesia. And then when I return, I will be there again in the summer, where last year we had 11 nations who came to visit us. That's exciting. It's a totally informal situation, but the opportunity to share family caregiving, and I look forward to it always. But this vehicle allows us to be in touch one with the other. For me to again say thank you to you, to give you perhaps a moment just to be still, to leave your immediate caregiving issue or person, and to have a time of quiet reflection. I pray that it gives you strength, and I thank you. I thank you for being the hands, the feet, the eyes of the divine in the present situation in which you are involved. And as always, I remind you, when that situation comes to an end, it hasn't for you. So take time to reflect, to care, before you jump into another situation. We don't want you to be a chronic caregiver or a serial caregiver. We appreciate it. But the first person we all need to care for is ourselves, so that we can truly give from our abundance, not from any feeling of obligation or exhaustion or codependency. We need to be truthful on that very issue. And now, as my final words to you in 2019, there is a poem that was given to me by Reverend Gambardella, and I love it. And it's going to be my tradition that I will happily say Happy New Year at midnight. I'll say it to someone I love dearly. But then I will have quiet time, and I will hear and read these words once again, because they speak to me. And so I pray they will speak to you. It's entitled Journey On. Journey on. Don't stop or falter. Look not back the past to view. Take no backward step or stumble. Mighty works you have to do as you journey on the pathway now unfolding straight ahead. Exercise the upward vision you are now by Spirit led. Journey on. The way is opened. Obstacles are brushed aside. Not a barrier remaining. You in peace can now abide, and can well press forward, knowing with a trust that meets all tests that the way to you, now opened, is the path to heaven's best. Journey on, yes, onward journey. Head erect, heart made light. Trouble not, nor stop to worry. Let the Spirit fight your fight. Let the Spirit in you, eager, now direct your yearning soul. Push you forward to the victory and to the conquest of your goal. God bless you. A happy, healthy new year and an even happier, healthy decade. God bless you. I'll see you next week, next year.